Today's video, we're gonna be talking about something I think we all can relate to, and that is making stupid purchases. Every year, I realize that no matter how smart I get with my money, I'm always gonna find some way to make some stupid financial decisions, especially some stupid random purchases. And I am guilty for that. For today's video, we're gonna be talking about the top 5 worst purchases that I've made in my 20s so far. So starting off the list at number 1, my dumbest purchase ever was a drone. And honestly, it's not that drones are dumb by any mean or that, they're useless. It's just, why did I need one? Essentially, I convinced myself when I was in Boston in 2019 that I was gonna start really taking video making and movie making extremely serious. And usually that comes with needing more gear. And so I convinced myself that I needed a drone to get these really amazing shots that I've been seeing on TV. Little did I know that drones only account for a very small percentage of the shots that we see nowadays. And so I pulled the trigger and I bought a drone for $700+. I maybe used a drone at most 4 to 5 times. It was just nothing that I really saw myself using in the long run. And it was just one of those really dumb purchases that I couldn't believe that I actually had made. Coming in at number 2 of some of the dumbest purchases that I've made by far has to be my DJI Osmo Action Cam. And so now I bought this to prevent myself from buying a GoPro. And I really convinced myself that, I thought that my YouTube channel was gonna be going a more photography route. And so I really wanted to get that POV view of my photo shoots. I used it one time. I realized that it was cool, but I'm not gonna do this every video. I'm not gonna be taking photos every video. And now I had just spent $200 on this and I found no absolute use for it past the few videos that I wanted to shoot. I will say that this is something that is probably useful if I were to buy it and I just had the money laying around and just to keep it here, maybe when I go on vacation or something like that. But first off, we're in the middle of a panoramic. I'm not going on too many vacations. And even when that's done, I'm probably not even gonna be thinking to record content at the bottom of the freaking ocean while I'm on vacation. Really dumb on my part. And I honestly regret it more than most. Coming in at number 3 is my amazing iMac. Let me make sure that this is clear. An iMac is extremely essential for me. And I feel like any computer is super essential for any creator, but I spent over $700 on this iMac right here, and it's slow as fucking dirt. So I made the mistake of not reading all the fine print when I bought something online and didn't realize that this iMac is only 8 gigabytes of RAM. And for the type of work that I do, I need a lot more speed. And so honestly, it's just like a big dinosaur just sitting around. I wanted to save a few bucks, so I bought a 2017 iMac. Honestly, I regret it so much. I should have just waited it out a little bit more and then bought one of the new iMacs that's coming out, because now I have to figure out a way to sell this one so I could save some money to buy the new one. Next up on this list, without a doubt, has to be my PlayStation 5. Now, this is something that's been really sought after, and I'm grateful that I was able to get one, but it came at a pretty hefty price of about $850 due to the fact that I had to buy it during a bundle. Now, it's always great to be able to have some sort of game system that you can play with your friends, but as I get older, I realize that I don't really play games as much anymore. And, me and my friends aren't really online as much anymore because we just don't have the time. And so now, it's a beautiful piece of junk that's just sitting here, and I try to make sure that I make use of it time to time, playing a little bit of Madden here, a little bit of 2K there, a little bit of Call of Duty here and there. Just trying to make sure that I'm getting the value, and maybe if we ever go through another quarantine, I'll see the value a lot more. But for now, it's honestly just one of those things where I'm like, I could have lived without it. Not necessarily a bad purchase, but it's just more so of those, I could have been much happier had I not gotten it, or had just stuck to what I had until, you know, it gave up on me. For those out there who are chasing that PS5, if you really want it, go ahead and get it. But if you're like me and you practically have no time to even really enjoy it, you can live without it. And the final worst purchase that I've made in my 20s so far is my car. No, I'm kidding. I fucking love my car. Why would I ever call that a terrible purchase? But no, seriously, I would say it's just my streetwear. Don't get me wrong, the drip is forever. I love clothes, I love shoes. Like, I honestly don't see myself not having that as a passion. But trends change so fast nowadays. You know, you could buy up a bunch of this brand and then in the next 2 months that nobody wears it anymore. And the same thing with shoes. At a point in time, everybody was wearing Jordan 1s about a year, 2 years ago. Now it's Dunks are like the craze of the century. It's not to say that they're bad purchases, but they're just one of those where it's constantly changing. And I feel like in a perfect world, you know, you really shouldn't have more than 5 pair of shoes at a time. That way you can always just have a pretty consistent rotation. And then, you know, when the season changes, you switch it up. It's one of those that I just gotta live with because I guess the drip is forever. But if sometimes I do feel like I spend a little bit of too much money on streetwear. I guess those are just the top 5 worst purchases that I've made in my 20s so far. And I'm sure that the list is going to go on and on and on as I go through the rest of my 20s. But if you guys really enjoyed this video, I really enjoyed making it. So if you could, just please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment on the channel, subscribe to the channel because it really does help me in trying to make this community grow. And until the next one, peace.
I have some issues when it comes to you. Go crazy in my membrane if they ever mention you. Baby girl, I'm a rider, wanna stay right beside ya.